Hey, everybody.
Hi.
Hey, Jasmine. Hey, Heidi.
Hello.
Hello.
I hope you both had amazing Christmases.
Yes, for sure.
Yes, for
Since it's
sure.
the
I'm
first
sick.
time you've been back with me since then. I want to say hi to everybody. Some crazy stuff today. I really can't stand the family Chantel, but and I made that clear. And the fraudulation. I mean, and I hate to use a Wendy Williams term but I do love her. So I'm going to borrow Wendy saying the fraudulation on this uh, Chantel stuff is crazy, and people are mad.
Mm-hmm.
So let's talk about that. I also want to just talk about the show if we have enough time, which I don't know if we're going to. And just some housekeeping, which I never do. Okay, so welcome to my channel. If you would like to become a member, you hit the join button next to the subscribe button, and it'll give you the tiers. And it's fun. So yeah, I mean, there's a video. I hate talking about this stuff,
You
but
should make an airline video pointing,
Yeah.
I'd be like the worst stewardess. Like, when I had to come out with the seatbelt, and I'd be like, well, you guys know what to do. Like, really. So
Good luck.
if you have an iPhone, it's trickier. There's a link on my community tab. But if you have an iPhone, best way to join is if you use it from like a desktop or a laptop. Also, please, if you're not subscribed, please subscribe and like the video or dislike it. Your choice. And is that the housekeeping I have to do? We're also doing a after show tonight for the Associates in Hire. I have 3 tiers on the channel, so you could see them. And let's say hi to everybody. And I've been having mouse issues today. Ask Cody.
Not as in rodent.
I felt like poltergeists were here. I didn't know what was going on. So let's say hi to everybody.
Okay, John, just so you know that the dislikes doesn't show anymore. That's a new YouTube thing.
Oh, thank God. Thanks, YouTube.
To spare your feelings.
I mean, it really didn't matter because if they liked it or disliked it, it was still
It's still interaction.
Yeah. So hello, Maria, Digital Pen, Ann's, Big Bad Wolf, Barbie, JG, the Enforcer, Velvet Pixie. Oh, I haven't seen you in a bit. Welcome back, JG. I said hello already. Chantel Gucci, Sassy Nerd Girl.
Barbie.
Okay, yeah. Sorry, I'm Mel B. Ann's Dorit, Big Bad Wolf. Did I say that? I feel like I'm saying the same name, because I'm like going through the chat and I just Toys for Tears, Pain, hello. MG, Drea,
Pain.
I got Pain.
Okay.
We just gotta be an easier way to do this. Let's brainstorm on this one, maybe on the afterlife, about how I could better address everybody.
Okay.
And
well, especially like when you have
like
mouse
the
problems.
clock is ticking.
I mean,
Digital Pen. I said it already.
you have the
Crystal,
mouse that's not like
Susan D,
moving.
April Rain.
Melissa?
Pink Flamingo, MTT, Maggie. Oh, Natalie, hello. Teresa. And Toys for Tears, thank you. Shirori, Tina,
Hi, Shirori.
Denise,
Sickle.
Stephanie, and I think we're and the
April,
rest.
Eddie,
Chrissy Denver, Ellie,
Maggie,
Positive
Everybody.
Paula,
All of you.
Jewel.
and the rest here on John YouTube channel. There we go.
Tina, there you go. Okay, we're rolling.
We're rolling. Okay, so let's get into it.
Dean Wilson. See, people you miss, I go behind you.
Brenda Faye, that's it. All right,
Okay,
so
let's go.
I'm gonna have to pull a Professor and Marianne and get this going. So here we are.
Yes, he's fabulous, and he's on the inside scoop.
Ooh, look at that! Oh no, I'm having a mouse problem. Not like mice, like my mouse. In the right way.
That's why I was like, not rodent, so it doesn't go on Reddit.
Oh my God. They
Someone
thought you
just
had
texted us
rats,
and
Ron.
said, Not rodents. No, we're good. It was just
have no
my mouse
rodents.
on my MacBook was.
Although they're
Okay.
very cute, but
I want
no.
to make that clear, Reddit. So you know,
Now that that's addressed,
there'll be like
I mean,
memes of like mice like running around our house
Yeah, that's-
tomorrow.
Running around the garage, John. Running around the garage.
All right, so the fraudulation. Let's get into it. Okay, so as you know, I can't stand this show.
I can't. either.
I do love Pedro and Chantel. I love them on Happily, and if they were on Happily again or whatever, I would be. You know, I like to see it. Same thing with Darcy and Stacey. I love Darcy and Stacey,
Mhm.
but I don't watch their show because
I think they're better in smaller bites.
yeah, I don't. I mean, if they were back on the show, I'd be very excited, but I don't watch it. You know,
I wouldn't.
so with that being said, so you know that I don't watch a show. Jasmine does. I think Heidi said. Heidi, you said you saw like a few episodes or whatnot.
I saw a few episodes. I just can't. I try. I really try. I really, really do try. River gets fatter and fatter. You know.
Merry Christmas, River.
You know, the sister is on a weight loss thing. Chantel thinks that she's the shit with her nose job, her fake extensions, her breast pulled all up in the camera. Yeah, her mom I can't stand. Okay, I'm sorry. Let's go.
Don't hold back, Heidi. Tell us how you really feel.
We're up to date on how Heidi feels and what she's watched. Okay, good. I mean, I haven't watched the show, but I've watched the pillow talk of the show. That I find easier to digest.
Yes.
Then I'm hearing the fun of what other people are saying, and I'm getting the highlights of the things that I sort of want to know, and then wished I didn't know, but whatever. But no, it's definitely a very produced show, shall we say? There is that, but then the reality of reality is all of it is produced, you know, to a higher level or a lesser level. And then there are definitely storylines that don't need as much because they just sort of take a life of their own. But this one obviously needs help.
Yeah, it's like last season.
Okay, well, and if you guys are not familiar with Jasmine, she is also like a filmmaker, and she works in the biz. So, she
And
knows,
I've been in that side of things.
yeah. So
That
she
was
knows,
that.
she's, you know.
So let me tell you, I watched it last season for the simple fact they introduced the older brother, right?
Mhm.
It was rinse and repeat. He is engaged to this woman he met overseas. They're really married, but then they go back to have a wedding in her country. The mama, Chantel, they're drilling her. The brother, it was just, I couldn't take it. I said, we did another Pedro and Chantel with the older brother and his wife, is what they did.
Yeah,
Okay,
it's very obvious that there was a meeting before they started shooting anything.
Yeah. Let's use this recipe again. It worked the first season. Let's just do it again.
Mm-hmm.
Okay,
Yep.
so to explain, so I guess was it the main storyline this season? This search for Pedro.
Yes, that was the
Yeah.
main storyline,
Okay.
and then
All
the
right.
other sister getting engaged, and you know they don't have good intentions, and they don't like him because he hit the fact he had a child and then another child. Who cares? Stay out of that woman's business.
He uses
anyway.
too much cologne. He always does it.
Yes.
All of that stuff.
Everything.
Okay, so I guess so that storyline involved Pedro on the search for his estranged
Biological
dad.
father. Well, his
Uh,
father. You know,
His dad. Okay, but estranged.
estranged. Yes.
Yeah.
Did they ever meet? Like, did at all, or was there ever?
I have not seen the very last episode, so I don't know.
Okay,
But
so
who knows what happened in real reality?
from what I'm, you know, so the show, what's shown is that Pedro meets a couple of cousins
Mhm.
on his father's
Yes.
side,
Yes.
right?
Yes.
And then those cousins lead Pedro to, I guess, two half brothers
Brothers. Yep.
Yes.
that Pedro has never met, and
Supposedly.
Wink.
blown away. Oh my God, brothers and closer to dad and whatever. And now, come to find out, now I don't know who this this Jessie Lee XO. That's her Instagram tag, and she has like 150,000 followers.
Mm-hmm.
So she must be somebody, right? She posted this story, which exposed everything. You know, with a picture of the two half brothers with not only Pedro, but also Chantel and Nicole
Yep.
dated October 4th, 2014.
All right.
Maybe he didn't know they were really his cousins, and they were just out in
Heidi,
the
shut up.
You could become a writer.
I won't even. Just shut up.
For reality TV. That way.
So, and come on. And this is bad. Like
It's
really,
bad.
really bad. And
And
then
it's Chantel's old nose.
Yeah, her old nose.
This is not recent.
Her old nose and her new breastises, because she didn't have them breastises back then.
This is true. This is true. One nose, two breasts different than today. This is
now again. I didn't watch the show, so I don't know. But I've been being told that Chantel and Nicole gave him grief for it. Nicole didn't want to meet them, but girl, you were at a table with them 7 years ago.
Yep.
All thick as thieves.
Yep. And the mom didn't know where he was, bitch. Yeah, you were out there filming, and when I tell you that little place they're at is not that big. My daughter-in-law's from that area, but you don't know who your daddy is, and everybody knows everybody. Okay, I'm just saying. My daughter-in-law's from the Dominican Republic, right there.
I will say, in fairness of maybe they don't know.
Maggie.
I've known a few people that didn't know who their actual parent was, and it turned out it was like the family friend, it was the mailman, stuff like that. So in theory, that part is possible to have never met someone that is possibly feet away.
Wait, Shirori has a question for everybody.
Mm-hmm.
Can you ask how many of us believed the drama? So guys, how many people believe it? But okay, I'm gonna go over some of the comments because people are mad. I cried with you. This was a journey, and
yep,
it touched a lot of people's hearts who have parental issues. I don't know about anybody, but I have parent issues.
Mm-hmm.
So, and again, I didn't watch the show, but it was very emotional, and everybody kept telling me, "Oh my God, season 3, it's so good, it's so good, it's so good." It's believable, and I'm guessing now that it's a big slap in the face to everybody who actually thought the show was good.
My problem is, I just got a question. I really hope the fights between Chantel and Pedro's sister were real, because Nicole is my girl. She is my girl. Nicole reminds me of my daughter-in-law's sister. And her mother, Lita, I like them. I just want that to be real. That they can't stand Chantel, which I can't, so they probably can't either. So I'm just saying.
I don't know. That's hard. I'm looking for my long list. Oh my God, siblings I never met before.
Yeah, that's true.
In the scope for reality TV.
Yep,
that's like
true.
Me, being on a show and being, let's revisit when my mom died, but let's make it like we're doing it now. That's how I see it.
Well,
that's a big thing.
Well, here's the thing about how the shows work. They do want authenticity. And if it happens to be that there was a good storyline that occurred in the past, the consensus is, well, why not use it? But you're going to have to, sort of reenact it better than not tell it. Because if you tell it by just interviewing someone, that's a 5-minute thing. It's not as striking.
Okay.
And so it's not like these things are manufactured and didn't exist. They really do try to make an effort to look at something that did happen. I'm not saying they never fake anything. Not saying that.
Well, they didn't fake something. They just. Well, they did.
They reenacted it. And if it is somebody's pain, those emotions are real because they're maybe not real in that moment, but they are real in that's how you felt about that situation at the time. I'm not saying whether this is right or wrong. I'm just saying this is how it's done. And the problem for the audience is, even when it's a soap opera on TV that's totally fictionalized, people somehow, an audience wants something to be real there. And that's why it's not an uncommon story that actors from movies, television, soap operas, and so on they get smacked in the face and are like, how could you leave her? And it's like, that was a movie. Like, that was all.
Well, let me jump in because you said it would be good stuff. And here people are saying, I mean, like, it's good stuff. I mean, it's so good that people are crying. Toys for Tears said Karen hugged him, and I believed it. Drea said, right, maybe cry more. Tina, I know the hug got me too. And this is stuff that happened 7 years ago, and they're just reenacting it. I mean, I get reenacting things, but like it's 7 years.
I just read the little thing. He still didn't meet his dad.
Well, they're saving that for the next season, probably. But
so, let me get this right.
Wait, the dad that lives in his basement right now? That guy, George?
Let me get this right. So we all believe that Pedro is supporting his mother and sister in that nice apartment in the Dominican Republic, while him and Chantel lived in that little box. Then they just moved into a bigger thing, and that he's sending his mom and them TVs to the Dominican.
Wait, what about the TVs, the computers, and then she's like, "Oh, this is only a 22-inch TV with her marble countertops."
Yes.
Like,
yeah. So we believe in all of this, right? That Pedro, who really doesn't, he works in a warehouse. Chantel was working part-time. She was a nursing student. Who failed, by the way, her state boards the first time around, which we already knew that because they needed another season to show that she graduated.
Heidi with the extra shade right there on that one. just some recap shade, we'll call it.
I'm just saying. So we're going to believe that storyline, and then that Chantel is going to let Pedro go back to the Dominican Republic without her. After the last time he went, the sister said he slept with her friend. Yeah, okay. I got it. I believed it. Let's go. I'm sorry. I mean, I don't watch the show, so I'm just saying.
I mean, I will say that when it comes to the reenacting part, and I can understand why. See, before I knew how all of this stuff happened, I had a different view on stuff. Once you learn how things are done, it does change your perspective on it a little bit. I still understand the audience's frustration for sure, and there's a lot of stuff that I sit there thinking they didn't have to do that. There's enough here in general with any of these shows.
Mm-hmm.
But if you go from an acting point of view, in acting, whether you're doing a movie and it's a totally fictional thing or reality TV, when you are performing a part, you have to, as an actor, dig into something. Like if your character needs to cry, you have to dig into something that really hurt in your life. So if you're in reality TV and you're reenacting something, well, you're going to reenact the thing that did hurt, and it's going to bring about real emotions, because that's the thing about acting is it doesn't sell if it's not a real emotion that
it's sold. People believe the real emotion.
Yeah.
Right. So what you're seeing is real in how they felt about the situation. It just didn't actually take place at that moment, but reliving it took place at that moment. So is it fake in that regard? Yes. Is it fake as in they made up the story? No.
Yeah, it's fake because it's not happening. It's reality TV, so it's fake. And
yeah,
it's as fake as Chantel's boobs are. Sorry. Sorry.
I don't know. I
But this is the in thing in entertainment. This is the in thing because people got tired of fiction, and they want to believe that
this is like
it is fiction.
It is fiction. It's like quasi fiction. It's not like
right. But people still want to believe things are real. People, when they see the biopic of somebody's life, they want to believe all of that stuff happened. No. I mean, they fictionalize that stuff all the time, which actually I have a major problem with that. If you're telling the life story of somebody, you should stick to the facts. You could still make it interesting. That's just lazy writing.
Like Brian's song, like the movie, but the football player who we knew, was dying, and it was a reenactment.
I did not just say Brian's song. I'm like, oh my god! Talk about something I haven't heard in a million years. Brian's song.
It was a reenactment, but it was happening. It was true. This is all fake and phony.
But like the thing is,
views.
You're thinking this is happening in real time, and it's not. This is something that happened years ago.
Mm-hmm.
So it's not something that, you watch a show about like how Chantel and Pedro are now and like what they're going through and
Right.
their life now as a couple and their families and what the families are dealing with. And this is the essence of the show. So the family isn't dealing with Pedro trying to find a couple of brothers he goes to Chili's with every Thursday and is in fantasy football league with.
Well, probably they
That's
didn't
a lie. That's not this is not a stressor on the family. And this and they're making it seem like this connected with everything else, and I don't know everything else is going on. But I'm sure it's layered with this and that, and then a little bit of that on the side. So with this being the big crux of the season, they're stressed, and Nicole doesn't want to talk to Pedro because she doesn't want him talking to the ex. Nicole, who I could never stand, probably was the smartest person of all, saying, run away from this because we're gonna get caught. So good for Nicole, but this wasn't something that the family was going through. This is something that happened before he even married Chantel. While he was in the DR. So how, as viewers, can that's where like I have an issue with
well,
it.
do you know why this is probably
that's a falsehood. This is something the family Chantel dealt with years ago.
But do you know why this is probably the A storyline of this season? Because they probably didn't have something good, and then they were like, okay.
And don't put them on TV.
Thank you. I was waiting for Winter to get married to Jai. So that could be a whole bunch of that because the big brother got married to somebody else. And girl, I'm sick. John J changed her name to J_GJY Enforcer.
But it is what it is. Like, don't put them on TV. Like, we all knew. I couldn't believe they lasted more than one season. Then they got a second season. I'm like, okay. Then season 3, I'm like, no.
I can't.
What's wrong?
I can't. Darcy and I'm coming back to see. But when I saw the storyline between the big brother and his wife, it was a carbon copy of the Chantel and Pedro story. Just in a different country. That's it. Different country. Same storyline.
Yeah.
What do you think,
it's tricky because things from the past can be very good storylines and be good examples that can make change in the world. But then you're duping the audience because you're not being honest. When that comes out in this day and age, it's a problem.
Like John Yates gets his own reality show. Oh my God. Finally. But like my main thing is dealing with my mom taking her life. But that didn't happen back in 1988. Let's say it happened back in 2018 or a few months ago. And it happened, guys. It happened, right? It's not a lie.
Yep. Okay. I'm gonna ask you.
Like that's my, that and that logic. Like I think I won my case. Like it's, come on. Between, the show is about the family Chantel and all these different individual things, screwing with the family dynamic. This fake storyline being the main crux of it, and then you have
like Karen's hair.
That how can I don't know.
Okay, Royal. Okay, so let me tell you what I was trying to figure out last year, and I watched the whole season last year because I was just like, okay, Royal married this. I don't know if she was from Philippines or Thailand, Anjanette, whatever her name was. Well, at the season when they were leaving, they had a big blowout at the wedding. Chantel and them showed they butt off again like they do everywhere they go. Karen had to come in with a long horse face, acting a damn fool. The husband standing there looking dumb. And when they left, the man said he couldn't stand his family. So I went to watch this season to see if Royal and his wife were back. Guess what? They weren't back. They weren't back, and they don't live too far from Chantel and Pedro.
Did they just not get their contract renewed, or did they not want to be on TV again over it?
Because he said that he was estranged from his family for a reason for the longest, and at one point he was living in Houston. So all of a sudden now he's back on, he's back with the family in the fold. And now he's not there anymore.
Yeah, it could be just the family, and it could be the combination of now it's been made public and everyone knows your problems, and you thought it was going to be better than that. So
But he genuinely didn't like his family. He didn't like Chantel. He told her she was fake. Her own brother called her out.
mm,
They're all fake. I mean, like, I love that family. Like, I think one of my favorite episodes of 90 Day Fiancé ever was when they had that fight at that dining room table, and Mama Chantel is like, got, like the hair, and she's like, Pedro es muy malo por mi familia. Like, and like, you know,
I can't stand that woman. I can't stand
and
that woman.
that was like legit. And then like TLC saw, because everybody reacted, they were like,
I like
boom.
the
After that fight, they got their own show. And
I
now
was
I
happy
feel
when
like they've
Pedro
been
grabbed
trying
River.
to like just throw stuff together, like a 7-year-old story
Yep.
about him trying to find, you know, let's see, what else can we throw? Do you have like, what happened to you in 3rd grade, Pedro? Like, are we going to see like when he knocked over, you know, when he stole somebody's like peanut butter and jelly in 3rd grade? Like, oh my God, guys. And this is what's happening to the family right now as we speak. And they are mad
Last
that I
year
took
they
Bernadette's PB&J in 3rd grade, and now we're all dealing with it. And
now last
yes,
season they went.
feel bad for us.
So when Pedro went, the mom supposed to be a lawyer. When they went to his mother's job, when Nicole went to her mom's job, when she was with Alejandro, who was from New York, who was married but not married, and was separated. And when she went to her mother's job, well, her mother's supposed to be a lawyer, and I don't know. It was 2 other guys in the office. I don't know if she's a lawyer or not, or she works for immigration, setting up paperwork, whatever. I don't know. But Pedro is not taking care of that woman if she's supposed to be a lawyer. But that's the storyline they want us to believe.
yeah. Unless lawyers don't make very good money at all over there. I don't know. But I mean, it could also just be that in part it's a cultural thing that you come over here, you send money back there. And, I mean, I've known plenty of people where there is that, no matter if they're doing well or not, because things are cheaper here compared to the types of things that they would be able to get there compared to here. But yeah,
I don't know. John, do you think they're going to have another season?
I am desperately trying. I made a post once about pages. Like, I can remember like funny posts, funny in my head at least. People liked it. I have a few favorite posts I can think of off memory. And I made a post about Pedro's mom once when she was like, when they were still unhappily, like right before their show premiered, we were at Megan's house. And, you know, Pedro's mom was an attorney. And I'm like, wow. She had like a waiter's uniform on. And I'm like, wow, it looks like, you know, Pedro's mom just got off a double shift at the ground round. I'm like, why can't she buy like a laptop? Like it was, I don't remember. It was on my old account, my first IG account that I lost, and I'm like trying to find it, but whatever. So
I guess that what's going to determine if there's a next season is this news that's just come out about some fakery that's gone on. If the fans are, you know, in an uprising against it and go, that's it, we don't want to see it, that's ridiculous. Or if the network can somehow make them believe that they've never met the father, so now we are currently quote unquote going to actually see that part of the journey, then people will be on board and there will be another season. So it depends how they.
Yeah, somebody just asked about Chantel's real name. That's the name she named
Sierra.
herself. Her name is Sierra. So there's Royal, Winter, River, and Sea Air. They have a thing with the elements or something.
But like it's not like, you know, SEA like AIR. It's like CE-AIR.
AIR is Sierra. That is her name.
Very Hollywood names.
Okay,
River
we
Phoenix.
have elements. It's like Earth, Wind, and Fire. Look, Earth, Wind, and Fire. You know, you name your children.
Did her parents used to belong to a commune or something?
I don't know.
Probably.
Nope.
They look the type. Okay, so let's see what some people are saying about this because it's crazy. All right. Even Evelyn from The Other Way goes, that's so effed up. I was so into this story.
Oh my God.
Wow, Christy Marie. Wow, TLC is at an all-time low at this one. Miss Pretty JC. Wow, is pretty rehearsed. The scene where Pedro said he was a mistake got me though. Not gonna lie.
He was a mistake, but then the mother went back and slept with him again and got the girl. Right? Got you.
And so this is all fake.
It's all fake. Pedro had to have met his dad.
And Nicole.
Look how old he is. Look how old Nicole is. So they have to know this man.
In theory, unless she was meeting him outside of the home and not involving the children in the affair or whatever it was.
Oh, come on.
And we have proof. Someone left a comment. We have proof that Chantel had a nose job.
Yeah, she's a nose job.
Shanateti 75 said, notice it says Pinky's old nose. Yeah. That's his nickname for Chantel.
Yeah.
Didn't she say she never had plastic surgery?
Yep, she had a nose job and a boob job. Nose job and boob job.
I think this part was obvious the whole time. But.
We got to find a picture. Let me see, can I find a picture of her when they first started and with that other nose? Yes.
Oh, please don't talk about her boobs. Lord, I made a post similar to, well, in that same time frame with the Ground Well one. And I made a post and I said, you know, I just said Chantel, like,
her nose was bigger.
Maybe try wearing a sweater once in a while. Maybe we don't want to see.
Nobody wants to see that. Even her brother told her she dressed like she was a hooker.
I said, like, I don't remember my exact wordage, but people loved and hated what I said. So I was like, you know, and it was like 8 episodes of just seeing like Chantel wearing pasties, pretty much. Like I was too familiar with Chantel's breasts. Like I was like, I know every inch of them, and like I don't.
Did you notice they got bigger? Did you notice after she left 90? Did you notice it was a little, and then this year they look like they got a little more, look like she went to another size.
Well, I think TLC likes women that show a lot of cleavage. I mean, I think if you look at some of the others, it seems to be a thing. So
Chantel's boobs are not real. Please, they're not.
Well, I'm just saying. Okay, let's go back to the comments.
Or their styling. Maybe she doesn't dress like that in person, and maybe this is part of the fakery as well. It's they're being styled that way because their makeup is definitely not. They threw it on in 20 minutes.
Okay, John, hold on. I'm just going to show you a picture. I'm going to share this since Pedro says her boobs are real. Okay, hold on. Let me just share.
I didn't think they were, but then like I looked at old pictures of Chantel, like you know when they first.
Do you see her boobs here? Do you see them?
No, they were. I mean,
none. You see the boobs?
No, maybe. I've always seen her with like
none. Look at them, how they got big. Look at the pictures. She had none here. Little bit there.
Where'd you send them to me on?
Oh, I thought I was sharing my screen. Hold on. I'm so dumb. Hold on. Let me show you. Okay. I'm going to share my screen. Okay. Do you see it?
Okay. Yes. Now.
Yeah.
Okay. This picture. Really no boobs. None. Here. Little bit. Look at them. Look how they grow. Look at them. Look at them. Look at them.
They're being watered over time.
Maybe
but I have to say, I thought the same. But like, I saw older pictures of Chantel, and she did have, you know,
yeah, her brother even
like, I don't know what the right word to say is. Like, whatever. It didn't look like she was without. Like she was like she wasn't in the itty bitty titty committee.
Yep, she didn't have none. Itty bitty titty. So I think he fertilized them. I really do, because I didn't have any of them. Mine got fertilized. So I'm just saying, itty bitty titty. They grew after every season, after every check. She got different implants. I'm saying it, not John. Okay. So yes, and Pedro's hands aren't that big to play with them and make them that big. I'm sorry. So anyway, I'm sorry.
So. So, well, we know she has a nose job and quite possibly some augmentation in the chestal region. We don't know.
It's the drugs I'm on. That's what it is. And it's on medication. I shouldn't say drugs. I'm on medication.
No, Reddit.
The takeaway from this live: mice run rampant in John's house, and Heidi is on bed. That's going to be the takeaway on this live.
Well, excuse me. Sorry. Okay.
Well, Little Foodie says, "Oh my God, Pedro is a good actor." Stacey May laughed my ass off. I was literally crying tears all season for Pedro. No way. Mary Cute. Wow. Forever Kiki. I was so disappointed when I saw this. I really felt for the storyline. Everyone is really, really, really mad. People are tagging TLC, which, I'm like the blogger who's like, like a lot of bloggers like, don't tag the cast. Like, no, tag the cast. I don't care. Go ahead. They all know me anyways. Like, whatever. No, it's, but, people are tagging Chantel and Pedro like crazy. Like, explain yourselves. I think if it, they could have, if it didn't like, tug on people's heartstrings the way it did about being like a long lost dad and, brought siblings. It's like a Lifetime movie. I mean, really, like, siblings you found, and your sister was against it, but she already met them. It's
so to play devil's advocate for a second, and I'm not saying I agree with what they've done. I'm not saying that, but to play devil's advocate for a second, does it matter how he tells his story? If the story inspired people in the audience, it touched people in the audience, but you read it in a book, you saw him interviewed, and he talks about it, they reenacted it, it's still his story.
But again, it's not a story that's affecting how these families work in unison with each other. It's not adding to, and that's why I can't.
Said this is a reenactment, and we wouldn't have been. We would have known.
Like, this is something they dealt with years ago, and it's got nothing to do with the present day. Like, if they wanted to do a documentary about Pedro and then have yes, absolutely. Like, if this was a story about Pedro's life, then yeah. But when you're presenting this right now in almost 2022, and there are pictures of them being chummy in 2014, Lord knows that's 2014's the first that they could have been chummy since 2001 or 1998 or whatever. Like, we don't know, but for at least 8 years almost, they've known each other. So that's where
the problem is Hollywood treats audiences
like we're
audiences are supposed to have a certain level of suspension of disbelief with whether it's a fictionalized thing or not. And unfortunately, Hollywood doesn't always give an audience the respect it needs in what it's going to believe. And now in this day and age, when everything can be out there really quick and the secrets are not kept of how this product was made, yeah, in a certain way, is it unfair to the audience? Yeah. Because you're telling them to believe something that is a very big deal. So could they go about it another way? Of course they could. Of course they could. This sells better. That's why they did it this way.
Okay, so let me throw this log onto the fire and see what everybody thinks. Let me up it up a bit. So 90 Day Fiance now has about, I want to say 30 plus spinoffs, and I'm not exaggerating. I think it's.
You have to scroll through them.
I think it's maybe 31, 32 spinoffs of 90 Day on TLC, on the app, wherever.
It's almost a bigger universe than Marvel.
It really does. So don't we think at this point, well, I do, that TLC is spinning, and then we have like the David and Annie stuff coming out, the Lauren and Alex stuff, two more coming out. Do you think they're like, we all know that the show is the cash cow for the network, and how much it's changed, and how the network keeps exploiting. I mean, over 30 spinoffs. There's no other network, no other show on probably on Earth, Mars, Venus. Probably people like on Mars are like 90 Day Fiance, like like damn, and they have to keep coming up with stuff. So could that be it? That they're so greedy that there are people who are going to watch no matter what, and
Yeah.
so do we have to recycle this heart-warming, tonguing storyline so we can keep the viewers in? Because that's a lot of material that 90 Day is pumping out
They're
across
pumping out a lot of.
board.
Come on, John. These people.
Well, 90 days trending.
It's disgusting because look at these people that they have, the ones that's supposed to be so freaking cheap, but yet they're living in these nice houses and they're showing people how to pick. Come on, John. And I'm an idiot that watch this stuff because I want to see it. I can't believe it. I'm like, are you kidding me? And I know they're lying, but I'm still watching it.
Mm-hmm. Now, when it comes to what they're getting paid and are they actually making a lot of money off of these things, that is a different story because most networks do take advantage of the talent.
No, they have
most
to.
talent has to get a,
but not like TLC. I know.
They have to.
A lot of money.
What a lot of cast makes.
Mother.
Yeah, that's where a lot of people, especially when they're new to it, they don't realize they need to get an entertainment lawyer and a manager to speak on their behalf, but also the network can turn around and go, yeah, that's okay, we'll get someone else. So it's either get on TV and get paid very little and not know how to fight for what you want, or, just you get shoved aside. It's tricky. And so, yes, they capitalize off of them all the time. It's
okay, so they're always flying over to, well, it's not that cheap. I mean, it's not that expensive to fly to the Dominican Republic. Okay. Depends on what time of year you're flying. It's not that expensive. But then you have Pedro goes, Chantel follows, which is rinse, repeat. The sister can't stand her. They're fighting in Oregon. Chantel's walking through the streets of the Dominican Republic looking like a hooker with the heels on that I wouldn't even wear. I have heels like that, but I'm not going to walk in the damn street on the cobblestones with them. I'm going to take them off, put some flip-flops on, get where I'm going and put them on. But she walks in the streets like a hooker. Then she walks off by herself because she's mad and nobody attacks her. Really? Really? I'm serious. I'm just like, okay.
Well, 90 Day is like the cash cow for the network. Just like, Housewives is pretty much Bravo's like staple, right? Like, you think Bravo, you think The Real Housewives, you think TLC, you think 90 Day, right? At this point, right. And there are probably like 10 different Housewife franchises.
Yep.
And that's, I know like what they pay a few of the Housewives, and that's a staple of Bravo. And Housewives get paid head and shoulders better.
And they don't even need the money.
And you have TLC, some of the 90 Day shows are doing better ratings and they're beating Atlanta. They're on Sunday nights. TLC, 90 Day Fiance beats Atlanta every week.
Yep.
Every week. It's, 90 Day Fiance is, and Atlanta is, I think Atlanta is like number 2 underneath Beverly Hills for most rated, for most watched Housewives franchises.
Right.
So, and
like
we know what Nene was making and Portia and Kenya, and you better believe that Danielle Jabali and baby, I don't want to say baby girl Kim, I'm not super fan Kim. They're not making that same money that Kenya Moore is making when TLC is beating them in ratings and whatnot. Like not even like close. Like they'll pay like Kenya close to $1 million, well, whatever, in that ballpark, and then they give like a new cast member on before like a Subway footlong, and welcome to the network, and here you go. You could eat that.
One of the things they explain to people when they're going to put them on a show is they say, well, between your social media and doing appearances and all of this stuff, this is where you're going to make the good money, which is sort of true, but it's still not fair when you're making so much money off of them that you can't give them more,
They
it's
got too
bad.
many cast members to give them more. Too many cast members.
I mean, up until they were paying cast members $500 per episode when they were on before, and that was like the standard for years. $500.
Mm-hmm.
an episode. So if you were on, like, say, 10 episodes, and you're on the number one rated TV show
Yep.
in America.
Mm-hmm.
I want to know how much they're paying these people on so freaking cheap to compare. Because all of TLC, think about it. If Cody and his family, sister wives, if they were really willing to take that cut just to be on the show,
Mm-hmm.
come on now.
Yeah.
Yeah, because they want to be on TV, and being
Yep.
on TV has its, like, rewards,
Hi, Blair.
or whatever.
Yeah.
Oh,
Oh,
Blair. Hey,
yes, I
Blair.
cover the Shaws. John don't cover the Shaws, Blair, but you got to tell me because you got to tell me, is it about Mike or is it about Reza? I cover the Shaws.
Thank you so much, Blair, and Happy New Year. Thank you.
Yes, I love the Shaws of Sunset, Blair. Tell us, drop it.
We might have to interview you.
Yes, I love the Shaws. But John, think about it. All these shows they put on it, every time we talk, oh, I'm not watching this. Oh, I'm not going to watch this. And what do? I sit there and I watch it. And I'm like, oh my God, I watch it.
Well, it's not like, I have said that Chantel is, that the show is like, it's just overproduction since day one. I watched the first episode 2 years ago, and I'm like, nope. Just like, Darcy and Stacey. And I said earlier, when you're honing in on two people specifically, you kind of have to like jazz, not invent, but maybe recreate some stuff to make people want to keep watching, which is exactly what happened. I think with this, it was like, I don't know. Would you guys feel bad for me if I had a storyline on my new show where I'm reacting to my mother's death, and it was real, and I did react badly to it 30 years ago? But if you're thinking it's now, would you still feel bad for me? Like, I don't.
I think the problem is that anyone that knows how any of these things are put together, the second they find out about every little thing that's manufactured, produced, enhanced, whatever, they get mad. So this is the problem.
What is that, Heidi?
That's Darcy and Stacey's doppelganger.
Oh my God. That's so mean.
Things that are said on John Yates channels, not said by John Yates, or by people saying it on their own way, and do not reflect the opinions or
you need a scroll of that
comments of John Yates.
And there are no actual rodents in the manufacturing of this show.
Let me just throw a quick disclaimer out there for you.
Yes. But like when I was a radio DJ, a lot of people thought that the calls on that the live calls, like if you take caller 19 and they request a song or anything like that, people think that those individuals are calling at that moment, and that request was because they made it. And this is not how this works. And when people find out how it actually works, that minutes before you pre-tape them, because you don't know if someone's going to say stuff online that you don't want them to, and then you get an FCC violation. So you have to pre-tape it quickly, and 30 seconds later, throw it on there. And you were probably, because the song is a hit, going to be playing it anyway. So you make sure that you take that caller right before you're going to be playing that song. People, when they would find out how this worked, would get outraged. They're like, it's fake, it's not real. You know, people like the fantasy. We grow up with the fantasy.
Oh, when you walk by every night, talking sweet and looking fine, I get kind of happy. Oh, you said fantasy. I thought you were waiting for like a Mariah Carey interlude. I misread that cue. I'm sorry on that one. I'll take a my bad on that one. Sorry.
But I think that's the problem, is everyone doesn't want their fantasy spoiled. They want their fantasy to be reality. And that's
Do you want me to jump in again?
Yes, please.
Okay. What you gonna do when you get out of jail? I'm gonna do a remix. You know.
And that's the part that's unfair to the audience, is it's not real, but how do you satisfy the audience in this way?
By not okay. By
do
not
they go too far? Yes, they do.
I mean, I don't know.
let's put it this way. I find that, like I said, with movie making and a biopic about someone, I find that there's a lot of lazy writing, and in reality TV, I feel like there's many times there's a lot of lazy producing. That sometimes there's a story there, and they don't want to take the time in production, because the more time you sit around filming stuff randomly, you're going to spend more money doing that. So that's why they try to be organized about it, which I understand. But you're actually going to miss some storyline that actually is naturally going to occur. And It's possible to do it. They're just choosing not to, because they're trying to get stuff out on time.
Okay, Jasmine, I'm going to give you this. It didn't happen as we.
I hear a settlement coming. Here we go.
No, it's not happening as we're watching it. It wasn't filmed last year, whatever. It was 7 years ago. Can we take away from the hurt that maybe he was feeling? But we know he's a damn lie, because 7 years you had to see your father.
I can't agree with this at all. It was 7 years ago. I'm sorry. I'm not, no matter how.
I'm not saying it's right. I'm just saying how it works.
Yep.
And I think that's why people are so mad, because yes, it's true. But we don't know how this played out. It was 7 years ago. He probably eats hot dogs with the dad and goes to I don't know, whatever. But it happened 7 years ago.
Yep. That's my problem.
I feel like I'm like beating a dead horse. I can't allow it. Like, no. Like, I have any rules or jurisdiction in this matter. I wish I could bang my gavel and say no, but I just think when you're doing a show in 2022, 2021, 2020 about things that are stressing your family, you have a blended family of the more stupiders there in Georgia, and then Pedro.
It's getting more stupider now.
And using something as gut-wrenching as trying to find my bio dad and meeting siblings I've never known. Yeah, people loved it, but it was
let me say this. Sister Wives does a better job of when they talk about hurtful things from the past. Then it doesn't seem that they're recreating these things, because there's been plenty of times where they're being interviewed about things that happened a long time ago, and they're not showing those things. They're talking about them, and maybe they show some pictures of how they looked at that time, and you still feel the heart of the problem. So they could have approached this a different way. They really could have. There's no doubt.
Not approach it at all. I feel like I'm taking crazy pills. Do not approach it at all.
No, you're missing what I'm saying there. They could have approached it and not reenact it. They could have approached it and talked about it.
Talked about what happened.
Yeah. No, okay.
That's what I keep trying to say this whole time. They're trying to create a fantasy for everybody that wants to believe that's the reality that's happening now. And it's sure, is it better drama that way? Sure. But it's also lazy producing. There are other ways. There's probably something else. They could have had some other storyline that was happening while dealing with this. But they didn't really go in depth.
Okay, I met my granddaughter for the first time. I didn't know. Me and my son met his daughter at the same time. He never knew he had her. She's 19 years old. And he was shocked. Felt like she was intruding in our lives. It was a conversation. We talk all the time now. He had no idea about it. So we should have had the cameras with us so they can reenact us meeting his daughter for the first time.
Yeah.
Can I just jump in real quick? I do agree. Payne said I agree with you, Jeff. And I do too. So if they wanted to go from that angle, they could have talked about him in the past.
Yep.
Trying to get in touch with his, dad by way of his stepbrother, and then present this as something now that they're dealing with,
yes.
But they did. Then fine, absolutely, 100%, yes. But they didn't do it that way. They made it seem like this was an ongoing thing, and that's where a line has been drawn. And that's the part I can't.
Right. Well, it's lazy producing. They could have found a way to do it, because in this day and age, to think that information isn't going to get spilled out there which does work against the show. It can also work for the show, but I don't know. It hurts the audience in a way. Like,
no, the audience is very hurt right now.
yeah.
Every comment on my posts on Twitter and Instagram are not favorable, and they're mad, and they cried, and
Yep.
And I'd be too, So, and they have every right to be mad.
Yeah, you want to create empathy in the audience, but you don't want to hurt the audience.
Because then you got hoodwinked, and and getting hoodwinked is the worst,
Yeah.
They lied.
Then that shakes up everything else you believe in. Now, let's say I just saw this fraudery on TLC, Chantel, and now I'm watching, Housewives, and I'm seeing Margaret and Teresa fight. I'm like, well, huh. Now, and that kind of shakes your belief in everything else you watch.
What fight can we rely on? Does Nicole really want to kill Chantel? Does she really hate her?
And then you see them shopping together and they're best friends. Yes.
And then the mom. She really can't stand. See, that's what I need to know now, because now everything seems fake to me, because I'm hoping those fights were real, seriously. Because it was so...
Okay, Heidi, they were all at a table in 2014. Did you not see Nicole there?
I know, I saw it.
I mean, it was Chantel, Nicole, the two half brothers. Like everybody was there.
And they're all hugging.
In 2014,
before
Chantel and Pedro even got married. I mean, like that, a picture tells 1,000 words. That picture says it fucking all. Like, that's it.
Do you think that they fought back then in the way they do on the show, and they're frenemies? That they love each other, but they hate each other?
I don't know.
I don't know. Because this has been going on.
See, and this is what this does. I don't know. And I'm a expert on this stupid show, and even I'm like, I don't know. And like I'm friends with Cass and whatever, and I know things that a lot of people don't know, but I'm like,
John, I think we need to find an inside person on the family, Chantel. I think we need to get River, who thinks he's a rapper. You can tell
you
me
think
that.
River? Please. You think River's going to go up against that family when that family is the only person talking about River and keeping that name alive? I don't remember seeing River on the Grammys or the People's Choice Awards or the now defunct Blockbuster Video Awards.
People that can get him, a music contract, and befriend him, get to know him.
No thanks. I'll throw that back on you, Heidi.
Oh no, he's too fat.
You do that. You take one for the team on that one.
Oh no, I can't. I can't stand his hair. I would have to kill his mother. Seriously, I just can't do it. I would have to kill her. That would be no ifs and buts about it. Nope, can't do it.
Well, he has one of those hairstyles that in about 10 years he's going to look back and go, I should not have done that.
He's got a receding hairline because his hairline's going away. It's thinning.
And here we are at an hour, and we have not given glance or reference before a 90-day recap. And 59 minutes in.
Oh yeah, that's true. His girlfriend dumped him.
I knew this was going to take the whole live, and I'm sure we have more to say about it. So what we're going to do, just real quick, you guys can do the recap tomorrow night.
Yeah, I can do it.
Yes,
tomorrow night.
Like 9 o'clock-ish, same bat time.
Same tonight. Yep, I'll do
same bat channel. Okay. Mm-hmm. All right. So I'm gonna split this. So we'll do the recap tomorrow night, same time, and we're gonna do an after show for the associates and higher. Again, going back to my membership. Jesus.
Your fans. Look, like people say, they're fans. Okay, come on.
Well, it's like, because like we're gonna be going to we're gonna be in Manhattan for New Year's. So tomorrow night will probably be like the last night we go live again, and then January hits and everyone's depressed until May. So we'll all be together and miserable. But like these last few weeks, last couple of months have been crazy. I don't think me and Cody's ever traveled this much, from going from seeing Jasmine. But when did we go see Heather McDonald? Like, it was like the beginning of November.
It was something like that, yeah.
And then traveling down to Georgia to go see Ange, and then being in Vegas, and now we're going. It's been like, for me and Cody, it's been nice. Me and
just
Cody,
traveling, living that celebrity life, aren't you, John? Yeah.
right? It's it's hard being a Z-list, D-list blogger. That's going to be the title of my book, by the way. So don't steal it from me. I already patented it and trademarked it. Book. It's hard being a Z-list, D-list blogger. So, but I have to say, between there are two cast members who have just always, who are like real family, and to Beth and Angela, I really had to give them like a lot of credit, because Beth had me when I had nothing, and she's more family to me than who's really ever else alive in mine. And Angela too, Angela, me and Cody have been alone for every holiday for like the last few years. All my family's passed away on my mom's side, the ones that counted. And that is shade and a dig. So, and Cody's family is all in Florida. So we don't ever we're just usually by ourselves, and Angela's really made it. So we were Thanksgiving at her house, and we were just in Vegas for her birthday, and we couldn't do the drive again to go back to Georgia for Christmas, but we'll be with her in a few days, and her family and her, and that's why I stick up for her so hard, because she is such a good human being. And we really do feel like we're a part of her family. I say that I'm her younger brother, and because she's not old enough to be my mom, and then I could be like her daughter's like cool uncle, which I'm good with. So just a lot of love to Angela and Beth, and to you guys, and to I don't know why I'm giving an Oscar speech. I don't know how this is
about. Did you get an award or something?
Someone play the music. I don't know how this is happening right now, how I got to this level. But I just wanted to say thank you to Beth and Angela and everybody. So all right, so I'm gonna end this live. Give me like 20 minutes, and we'll do an after live associates and higher, and then tomorrow we will do the recap for before 90 days. Yeah.
Okay. That sounds wonderful. And while I'm at it, I'm going to go watch the last 2 episodes now, because I'm curious to see how this all fell apart. I might just binge the whole Chantel. Season. Yeah, I think I might just binge from season 4. From episode 4 to the end.
And good, now they get more ratings, and then they'll be back, for season 4.
You're going to basically study your creative writing class there. Family Chantel.
All right.
So I will give you like 20 minutes. We'll do the after show associates and higher, and I will see everybody then.
John, April wants to know, can we throw in Sister Wives too? We haven't talked with Sister Wives in a while.
Okay, again, because we've been traveling a lot. Like I haven't watched like the last 3 episodes of Sister Wives. I haven't watched the last 3 episodes of The Single Life. I'm up to date on Bravo, but you don't care about OC. So I
love OC. Is hot and
okay, so then we'll start doing OC because it's good.
OC is hot.
But we'll catch up. So maybe I can't catch up to Sister. So it's the 28th. By January 4th.
6th.
Okay, 6. Yes, we'll go with Heidi. 6. By January 6th, I should be caught up with everything.
Yep. Because you're traveling. Because you were traveling.
I know. Because after Manhattan, we're going back to the island for a few days, Long Island, and then we'll be back. So yeah, yeah. So we're good.
We'll see him by January 18th. Okay.
Yeah. And then we'll all be alone and miserable together from New Year's till Memorial Day. No, Labor Day. No, Memorial Day. Yeah, we're good. So
okay.
I'll see you guys later for the after show, and bye.
Good night, guys. Bye.
Bye,
everybody.
Bye, Jasmine.
Good night.